Okay, so let's talk about that finale, mid-season finale. We will get the rest of the episodes for the full finale come July 11th. 6 more episodes to go, but we went over a video this morning about theories and possible things we could see, and I told y'all that somebody was going to get hurt. It was probably going to be Howard and some other people, but I didn't expect what we just saw. So before we get into this, make sure you are subscribed to the channel, notification bell turned on. We're going to be covering the rest of the 6 episodes later this summer, back to back, and we will definitely be going deep into everything that we just seen. So pretty much this episode started with D-Day. As we know, they were trying to get this whole settlement settled and get the money from the Sandpiper case and all of that settled. And we saw that the plan was put into motion of how to do that. And the whole thing was to use that serum that the vet had given them that was going to sort of caffeinate Howard and get him to act like he was basically an addict of some sorts, as they've been portraying him to Cliff on and off again. And so we saw that plan be set into motion, and then he was going to confront the judge, which they actually made a fake set of photos that Jimmy was actually bribing the judge, who was going to be the mediator with the other attorneys and the main person behind the lawsuit. And it was going to make sort of Howard think that this mediator is just going to make it so Jimmy gets the money and all of that. And so he confronts the actual man during this whole thing, of course, caffeinated up. And eventually everybody's just yeah, Howard's losing it. He's not in the right place. This sort of gives an advantage to the other attorneys, as they're okay, it seems that you are all just playing around, all of this. We're dropping our offer if you don't take it right away right now, because it looks like everything's in shambles. And so it's not going to work out in your favor. That's pretty much where it all is. Cliff decides to ultimately just settle. Howard is in a very dark place now, and it looks like Jimmy and Kim have won. We go back to what's going on with Lalo, as we saw him at the beginning of the episode, actually surveilling the laundry place that Mr. Gustavo Fring has set up now, and he's sort of almost getting the proof he needs. He just needs to get in there and make sure he has that whole proof of this whole establishment being a thing that Gustavo has set up, and taking that news back to Eladio. He's recording everything, but then when he calls his uncle Hector, he realizes that the phones are being tapped. And so knowing that the things are tapped or being recorded, he decides to give false information about what he's about to do in order to sort of create this establishment going on and shake up the grounds, if you will. He does this. Mike warns Gus about what might happen, and they go back to prepare. We go back to Jimmy and Kim, who are seemingly celebrating everything that has happened. And just as they're celebrating and just kicking back, relaxing, a knock on the door. And let me tell you, when I heard this knock, I was like, okay, that's definitely Lalo coming in. But no, it's actually Howard, and he seems to have been drinking already, and he's trying to sort of figure out what their end goal was and confronting them about everything that's happened. Of course, they're playing coy about it all, but as Howard starts to sort of spiral down more, insulting them and continuing to sort of go down the spiral, talking about his failed marriage, his depression, being in debt, all of that, it's pretty much where you start to feel for Howard and everything that has happened. But just before you can do any of that, another person comes through the door, and this time it is Lalo, and he's just standing there menacingly. Howard, of course, has no idea what's about to happen. Jimmy and Kim know everything that's about to happen. Before they can do anything else, Lalo pulls out a gun, shoots Howie dead. My goodness, what an ending, what a finale. And it's just what is going on now, right? So this was one of the most insane episodes. I think definitely didn't see this coming at all. I was over here in the morning predicting more Howard was going to have some accident or something, be in a hospital of sorts because of how caffeinated he was going to be. But I really was not expecting him to just be completely killed in this finale, well, mid-season finale. But it just definitely delivered a sense of what the hell is just going to happen now. So I didn't expect Lalo to interact with Saul at all, or with Kim this episode. As I said before, I was really expecting it more to be centered around this whole thing with Howard. But I guess it is a great segue into what we're about to get into these last 6 episodes. So I think we're about to definitely get into some of the most action-packed episodes we've gotten ever. A lot of people are complaining that season 6 felt a little slow, a little rundown, but I think that the way they set it up as a slow burn for this next half made a lot of sense, because I think once we get into this next part, we're about to go nonstop, and I'm pretty sure by the end, some more people are going to get hurt. I did really not expect Howard to be dead by now, but here we are. So I think that the next episodes are going to be interesting to see how all of this is explained. What is Lalo really up to here? What does he want with Jimmy, and what does he want with Kim? So I do expect Lalo to try and use Jimmy and Kim to sort of build this case around Gustavo as well, and sort of use them as well as sort of like his um, people out in the open, since he really can't be in the open himself, since he's still having this whole masquerade being dead. So I think that he's going to be using them to get the information that he needs to fully plan out this attack he's trying to do. Of course, I'm not totally sure if Lalo in fact knows that Jimmy is still working as well with Mike on the inside as well. So I think that's going to be a very interesting thing that we see develop, as well as I don't think he has all that information. He might have a hunch or anything like that, but I don't think he has the full information as well. And he might just in fact be looking for what exactly did happen out in the desert, as he's trying to sort of see who he can trust in all of this. So I think this next episode is going to be very, very interesting what type of talk they have as well, because I think at this point he's desperate and he needs to get as much information as he can as quick as possible, since he knows that Gus is onto him and all of that. So I think using Jimmy and Kim is his most logical way for him to do whatever he wants to do. So very much so a shocking ending. As I said, did not expect Howard to go down as he did already. But like I said, Lalo's just going to do what he needs to do to get this case built, to take Gustavo down, to show Eladio, and to pretty much come out on top. So it's going to be a race to the end, isn't it, for these next 6 episodes? And I'm pretty sure that we're going to see a lot more of Mike really trying to get on top of things, because at this point, I think Lalo's on top of everybody, as he's sort of already calculating the steps that it's going to take to bring this whole establishment down with him. So we don't know exactly what's going to happen to Kim. As I said before, we don't see her in Breaking Bad. So something's going to happen in these next 6 episodes that will explain her absence. Now, we did get a little teaser about what's going to happen, I think, by the end of it, where we see Saul's voice talking about, after all that, a happy ending. So I will do a video on that, as well as what I think is going to be Kim's fate by the end of it all. And it's just going to be an insane ride, right? So anyways, let me know your thoughts and your opinions down below on what are you expecting to see. What did you think of the finale after everything that's happened as well? What do you think about what Lalo's full plan is going to be? Did you expect that to happen to Howard at the end? Let me know, because I, for one, did not expect it at all. Once I saw Lalo, I was kind of expecting him to take them hostage or something like that. But once I saw the gun coming out, I was just like, okay, this is not going to end well for Howard, because I still think that he wants to use Kim and Jimmy for whatever the case may be, and he sort of has some trust for them. So of course they weren't going to be the ones to go. So I was just like, yep, that's it for Howie right there. But make sure that you stay subscribed and turn that notification bell on. I'm going to have some episode theories about what's to come in the second half of the season come out this week. Tomorrow, I do have my video on the Kim Wexler theory about where is she during the events of Breaking Bad and what happens to her by the end of the season. So if you don't want to miss that video, you got to make sure you have that notification bell turned on and you're subscribed to the channel. As always, that is going to do it for me. If you haven't already, make sure you give your comments down below on what you thought about the season so far and the episode as well. Also, let me know your theories on what's going to happen next as well. Do you think Lalo's going to attack right away, or do you think he's sort of making a whole plan before he goes in and is sort of being more calculating than he already was? So comment that below. Make sure you follow me on all the social medias as well. Culture Elixir is the name. Twitter, TikTok. I'll be covering all the stuff you love and all the things you care about in TV shows, movies, all that good stuff. I have a video on Top Gun that comes out this week. Check it out if you haven't. And we're going to be talking about the Thor trailer as well that just came out tonight as well. So big night. Anyways, as always, I'll see all of you next time. Stay safe. Stay positive, my friends.